Oh no, what did I do?
So there was this one argument I was having. Well, me and the other person was having, and it was about finances, and it really got heated. And to her point, like she was throwing phones, she was throwing remotes, like she hit me in the back of the head with something, and I was bleeding, and throwing all those jabs at me, saying I'm this, I'm that, calling me all the words that you can think of, or I'm less of a man, all that. And only thing in my mind is I just wanted it to stop. And I just in my head, I just pictured like myself just knocking one time in the head and like she'd be down, stop talking. But I I have enough mindfulness in that moment to not do that, no matter how frustrated I am. And so I did. I took her by the arms and I just moved her away from me. And literally I ran to the door. I ran to the door because I knew if I stayed there in that moment, it was not going to be good. And so I ran to the door, I got out the house, and I just walked around the block, and I came back, and I just thought about it, like because if I would have done that, like I'm still in the military, so my military career would have been damaged, right? Now my perception publicly is damaged, and my friends and family are going to look at me different, and so much would be ruined in that instant. And
Yeah.
then if I do it, it's not going to end the conversation or the argument because even when we stay together, it's still going to come up later because we never finished it. So that's what I just kept thinking. I was like, this is going to end bad if I do this, and I cannot do it.
But what happens if they're constantly like beating on you? Like at some point, you would have to defend yourself, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like me, like I said, I got hit in the head with a remote or a phone or something, and I was bleeding a little bit. But I, and that's where I took the part was try to move that person away from me. Or, I mean, I've had to do this too in another situation where I just restrained her, I just hold her, right? Not up here around the neck, but just like just hold her tight, and just so like I can take a second to breathe and evaluate what's going on right now, and try to move away. Because my biggest thing when arguments get that heated, I just try to leave because
Yeah.
I've realized that at that point when you both get so heated, you're just button heads. There's nothing that's going to come out of that relationship. There's not a talk. It's not a conversation. It's just all emotion, and it's just pointless at that point. You're just wasting time. And so luckily I've learned that. So when those situations come up now, like with my wife, if we get in a heated argument and I realize it's not going anywhere, I say, you know what, I need a break. I need time out. I just go silent. I go to another room, and she may not like it, but that prevents that argument from escalating even more to those type of situations that we have that I've had in the past.
That's awesome, man. Clarity of self in those moments when you're like, okay, we have crossed that line of like, emotional clarity for both of us. We need to just step back. I frequently have to do that with my children where I'm like, you know what? I need 10 minutes. It's not happening right now. I'm not talking to you in the way I want to talk. You guys aren't listening in the way I want you to hear. We need just 10 minutes where we all can just breathe.
Yeah, and it takes practice. It's not easy. It takes a lot of work. I had a lot of arguments to work on this. So it doesn't come like, all right, I'm going to do this. And the next argument, you forget. Like it takes constant work, and you have to think about it. When other situations like that with the kids, 'cause I do the same thing with my kids too. Like just now before we jumped on here, I'm trying to walk up to the house with my son. He wants to go another way. I want to go this way. Like, come on, you're not listening. Hey, come on, come on. And instead of yelling at him in front of whatever neighbors was watching, I just remained calm, took a breath, walked over to him, knelt down, explained we need to go this way because I want to go home faster. And it worked out. It worked out.
So taking a moment of self-reflection and thinking about what you're going to do before you actually do it, that serves
Yes,
you well.
absolutely.
So you don't engage further into, domestic abuse, essentially. You want to just take your time and think about it because a lot of times when two people are heated with each other, there is nothing that good can come out of that. And one word can lead to another, and then pretty much you both starting to fight. But when you realize and you take a step back and say, you know what, I'm a man. I cannot physically abuse a woman. even if she is doing it to me, I have to be the bigger person to walk away from it. If
Yeah.
I don't do that, then that's going to leave a bad stain on me, because the man gets accused of
Oh, yeah.
abuse.
I mean, seriously, like I'm not the biggest guy, but some guys, somebody who's watching this, maybe like 6'4", and his wife, girlfriend, whatever, is 5'2", right? One shot from him may break her neck, may paralyze her, may even kill her. And that's the thing. You think like it takes just a split second to change your life in a negative way, right? But it takes constant work, like I said, to try to prevent those situations from happening. And so it may take just one time, and that one time may be the rest of your life. You spend the next 20 years in jail.
Yep. Again, that's another like really hard boundary issue in relationships. When you get into them, it's like this does not happen both ways. I will never place my hands on you when we're angry. I'll never get physical with you. But at the same time, if you ever get physical with me, this is over now. Like right now, not we're going to talk about it afterwards. Like this relationship is over because I cannot be with somebody who's not in an emotionally regulated state enough to not get physical with another person as an adult. We're not children at the fucking playground. You have morals and values and you can learn to chill the frick out. You don't need to be hitting me, right? It's very simple. If you don't want it from me, I need to expect it from you, right?
And I think
But let's
that's
keep,
where sometimes the women try to take advantage of
Yep.
going back to those toxic, traits that you mentioned.
Or
A
they'll
lot of
say,
times,
sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut
like
you off.
yeah, like a lot of times they will say they will try to hit you because they know that since you're a guy, you won't hit them back.
oh yeah,
Or you're so
yeah,
much bigger than me. Did it really hurt that much?
yeah, yeah,
I don't care if it hurt, lady. You hit
yeah.
me.
That's
It
true.
hurt my heart. It hurt my
Yes,
heart. And that's
it
what's
hurt.
fucking this relationship up. It has nothing to do with the physical pain you caused me. Just like if I were to hit you, yes, the physical pain would suck, but the emotional damage is what affects relationships and affects people long term, right? So, yeah,
Yeah,
you maybe didn't hurt me and your little claw scratch on my face. While it did suck and it just minutely hurt, it affected me in a way that I cannot explain to you because I'm not going to react to it right now. I'm going to react to it in 5 years when I'm in my next relationship and that woman scratches my face.
yeah. But let's get back to the traits real quick, so we can try to knock these
Okay,
out.
for sure. Preemptive defense. I'm a nice person. I'm always nice to everybody. Nice people don't have to say these things. This is
Just
stuff that
naturally
toxic.
nice. So,
Yeah, right. Toxic people are the ones who are like, "Oh, I'm a nice guy. You can trust me. I'm a good person. Why don't you come with me, man? Let's hang out." You don't have to, when you're a good person, you don't need to tell people that you're a good person. They just see it. Bait and feign innocence. So we'll start a fight and then complain or, why are you getting angry at me? Because you came at me first. That's why I'm reacting to your abuse, right? Which is a
a form
really,
of manipulation as well.
yeah, absolutely. Again, could be really construed gaslighting as well, right? Like you come in and start a fight and then you claim innocence. Well, now there's the pride, the respect, all of those things come into play now for a man. And man, that situation sucks. Another one, what do we got here? Boundary testing and hovering, right? Aggressive jabs disguised as jokes. Oh, you cook like crap all the time. I was just kidding. Wait a minute. Again, those things maybe sounded like a joke now, but what they do inside the person afterwards, that's detrimental. Especially around other people, man. You see this shit at like dinner
Oh
parties and
yeah,
stuff. Like, oh yeah, no, man, he can't do anything right.
yeah. We had so real quick. I'll say I was at a dinner one time, and the host was a husband and wife, and we were having dinner at their formal table, right? So we're all kind of dressed up nice, and then you know we're having friendly banter, amongst each other because there's two other couple families is there. And then all of a sudden, like the wife, like she stops really joking. Like just like you said, she's saying jokes about her husband, but you can all tell this is real. Like, oh yeah, well, my husband, he would never wake up early and take care of the kids for me because he always thinks he has to work type of stuff. Or, when I have a headache, he won't go make me a cup of tea because he's too busy doing something else or watching his game. And start saying all these little things, and all of a sudden everybody gets quiet, and everybody's just looking around like, all right, I think it's time to go now. Or how about that dessert? It's like,
right? Like this just got real uncomfortable real quick, man.
yeah, and he stopped laughing. He's just sitting there, and he was white, so he started turning red. So it's like you could tell something's going on there. It's like, all right, now let's kind of move this on.
What do we got? Another one here. Condescending sarcasm and patronizing tone. Right, this one again, really common in parents, but happens a lot with couples as well. Shaming, huge, huge. Kind of like we were just talking about as well. The same kind of like disguised as something else, but it's really shameful and really re-traumatizes you from an event, right? Control. This one is just
Speaks for itself.
Right? So they just want every little bit of you. They want your bank account information, where you're coming, where you're going, who you're seeing, when you're talking, when you leave work, when you get home, what trip you're taking. Did you stop for gas? Who did you talk to at the gas station? Like,
no,
yeah,
you're not getting all of that.
No, man, get away from me.
Right, and I think we could do a whole conversation on that alone. And part of it too, like you brought up a lot of good things, and another one is controls who you're friends with. Right. So, I don't like those friends you have from college, or I don't like those friends you have from high school, because so and so dumped my best friend 10 years ago, so I don't want you hanging out with him.
Dude, see, and that what you just said right there is such a common thing to hear, and there's so many of these things hidden inside of that in just a few sentences, right? You've got toxic manipulation, you've got searching for vulnerabilities, you've got gaslighting. All of these things will just sprinkle it on, like seasoning on your relationship.
Yeah, and make it seem like you're the one crazy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
At the end of the day, that's what they do. They hold up a mirror and like, look at how you're reacting. Oh yeah, watch this reaction.
And then this is the biggest one that I don't think we talked about yet. Like, pretty much the women would say, "Oh, I didn't do anything wrong in the relationship. It's all on you. It's all on you."
That's gaslighting, man.
Right.
100% gaslighting, like to a nutshell.
Yeah.
It's not all on you. It takes both of us to make this work. You have to. Might have problems, but you also too. You have it too. So it takes both of you to understand that the relationship works together in order for it to get better.
Yeah, man. You both got flaws. You both got issues. You both got things that, don't work in this relationship. And you have to be willing to change some stuff, man. If you really want something to work, right?
Because the person that said, "Oh, it's all on you," and you have the problems. You're having a problem because you're admitting that it's just all on them and you don't want to take any accountability.
That's what we said before. You always, right? There's always something like that. But how many more we got left?
There's one more left here. Mining for vulnerabilities. So this usually happens very covertly throughout the relationship, especially when you're with somebody with narcissistic personality disorder. They'll slowly collect a gathering of information about things that make you hurt. And then when the relationship doesn't start to go their way, or you start to put up boundaries against some of the treatment that you're getting, or some of these things that you're noticing in your relationship, as soon as you put up boundaries, that's when they start to use all these vulnerabilities against you, or bring up old shit that you brought up from your old relationships, or any time that you have literally given them a piece of your honesty and your vulnerability, they will come back and use it against you. when something doesn't go their way at the end, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's detrimental as well.
Yeah, it'd be
It makes
like,
you
well,
not
see,
want to trust your
that's
partner.
why your father left you because you're such an asshole, or you don't never clean up after yourself. And you're like, whoa, you bringing up my father? Like,
Oh,
I told you that in confidence, and that's why we started this channel, right? So many
yeah,
guys are afraid to be vulnerable because of people in the past stabbing them in the back with the information that they used or they told them in confident, right?
absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So we got to wrap this up, man. This was a great conversation. So, Chris, thanks for bringing those talking points, those 21 toxic traits. I know we wanted to hit on romantic relationships, but this kind of encompasses all relationships. And guys, if you're out there and this relates to you, let us know in the comments. Subscribe to the show so you can see our next one coming up. Um, and let us know how you feel about this. Share your stories with us because I tell you what, we create a judgment-free zone for guys to express how they really feel. And when we say judgment-free, we exactly mean that. You join our Discord, you see the communication that's going between like-minded men who are struggling, who have no place to talk about what's going on with them, and they do it with us. And it's completely free. It's just a space for us to be able to share how we feel with each other. And so if this resonated with you, follow, subscribe. We're on TikTok, we're on Discord. This will be on the YouTube. And it was a great conversation with you guys, and we'll see y'all next time.
Yes. We will see you again for episode 6.